like to express my gratitude for everyone who is joining this story. So this story is about Waterpro, and Waterpro is using Odoo for 8 years. So it's been a long time since they are our customer, and then they are a customer of Odoo Enterprise. In this story, we'll go through a series of events that happened during the past 8 years, the challenges that they have faced, and how we have resolved them using Odoo's default features and functionalities, and using some of our products. So to start, let me give you a brief introduction of my organization. So we are Webkul. It's been 13 years since we have started working in IT industry. We have 3,000 active products, over 20 different platforms. There are 200,000 customers worldwide of Webkul. We are India's largest open source contributor and 5 times winner of Deloitte Technology Fast Award. We have more than 1,600 reviews with average 4.7 star ratings in Trustpilot. And some of our customers include Nokia, Disney, Huawei, Unilever, Canon, United Nations, and Costco. To give you a particular idea of my individual department, I'm representing Odoo department of Webkul here. So in Odoo department of Webkul, we have 100 plus Odoo professionals. With 750 Odoo tailored apps we have in Odoo App Store, we pretty much have apps for every industry that's functional. It also means that we have a huge base of apps that can be used as a base for all the projects that we implement, saving down the time and implementation cost for the end customers. With 200 plus implementations and 15,000 customers worldwide, we are one of the largest vendors when it comes to providing Odoo services worldwide. So services over 20 different industries, and it's been 13 years since when we are working in Odoo. So right after discovering fire and stone, we started working in Odoo technology. All right, so to start, I request you guys to scan the QR code on the screen so that whatever questions you have during the entire presentation, you can record them in a pad, which will be asked in the Q&A session later on. Let's introduce the hero of this story, who is Waterpro. So Waterpro was founded by Clint Adams in 2010. It's a well-known irrigation product supplier in Australia with 58 unique brands of equipment. It has more than 9,000 active SKUs, and they are currently serving more than 30,000 active customers. With Google rating of 4.9 out of 5, they are really good in terms of providing these services to their customers. This journey started in 2016, and their business started in 2010. So in this past 4 or 5 years, they were using a different tool or a different ERP, and then in 2016, they switched to Odoo. So let me give a brief difference or the changes that happened during this phase or shift of technologies from being a previous ERP owner to moving their business processes to Odoo. The very first thing is data and source code control. In the previous ERP, they were having less control over the data which they have and less source code control as well, that being a proprietary software. In Odoo, we don't have that. In Odoo, we have complete control over the data and source code, and let us suppose for any reason, if customer wants to switch out of the enterprise version of Odoo, his data and source code is still secure. That makes Odoo completely different from other competitors when it comes to data and source code security. The second difference which they have seen is the connectivity of apps. Now, although the previous ERP had similar apps as well, and they were individually performing the required activities quite good, but the connectivity was missing. The level of integrity that Odoo offers in different apps like sales, invoices, inventory, all of them are heavily embedded, and you can backtrack a process when you go from one place to different. So that kind of connectivity increased their efficiency a lot. Time to market. Time to market is essentially the time required for an app from its initiation to its launch in the market. So in previous ERP, time to market was more, which means it takes more time to prepare new features and make them go live in the market. In Odoo, the time to market is comparatively very less, which means we can quickly deploy features using the default features of Odoo. It's more or less drag and drop. Otherwise, there's a huge Odoo marketplace available where you can have different apps for each functionality. Now, Let's go back to 2016 and see what are the challenges they have faced, particularly in POS and website. Back in 2016, there was the feature of single price list in Odoo. They basically wanted a segmentation pricing for their different customers, so that whenever different segments of customers were visiting their physical shops, they wanted to offer different prices to them. The second was home delivery request and return management. Being one of the irrigation material supplier, usually the equipments could be heavy as well. So it's not always handy to carry them yourselves to your home. Hence, requirement of home delivery increased significantly when they started growing their business. And return management from point of sale as well as website was again one of the huge requirement which was in huge demand from their end customers. Braintree payment support. Now, as you can see, all these three features more or less are now part of Odoo's default functionalities. That's the beauty of Odoo, that with time, Odoo is evolving and growing as well. So throughout this presentation, throughout this story, you will find that most of the features that were developed for them at some point of time are now the default features of Odoo Enterprise. Now, these were the challenges which they have faced in 2016, and the way we have resolved it is by providing a POS multi-price list module so that they can have different prices for each customer segment. We have implemented POS home delivery module to support the home delivery booking process right from the POS cashier screen, and a website RMA was implemented, which means that as a customer, you can anytime go to your My Account section, select an order, and return the products partially or fully, just like we do in Amazon. The third is Braintree payment acquire module was implemented in website initially, and then later on it was implemented in point of sale as well. So the results that we got from that is net customer count was increased 20% after these changes. The second big difference which they have seen is efficiency in managing returns due to these two products was seen as 48% in comparison to when these features were not implemented for them. So essentially, as you can see, they are doing quite good in terms of the revenue, in terms of the processes and customer count. But then they took a step further, and in 2017, again, there were few challenges which they have encountered in point of sale and website. The first one being promotion management. Again, point of sale as well as the website now has a very comprehensive promotion management, but it was not the case in 2017. So they required few promotion management features which we have implemented for them. Multi-step checkout. By default in 2017, Odoo's checkout process was multi-step, which means you have to select product and add them to the cart, select shipping addresses, select your payment method, and there are 4 or 5 steps involved. They wanted to reduce the number of clicks for their end customers due to the increase in load of web traffic, and hence they requested a solution for this issue which they were facing. Multi-session POS payments. When there is an active running POS session in Odoo, and let us suppose you have different POS implemented within the same setup, it's very much possible that you may want to take payment from a different session altogether to save time, to save waiting time for customers, and to increase efficiency of POS cashier. The way we have resolved these challenges is through coupon and voucher module, which was implemented for website and then for point of sale. One-page checkout was designed and implemented for them that reduced significantly the number of clicks that customer has to do in order to make purchase in the website. And multi-session payments were deployed, which significantly increased the efficiency of POS cashier. After doing all these changes in 2017, the results were improved user navigation. Now users can quickly purchase products with one page checkout. Promotions program resulted in increase in revenue and customer loyalty, of course, and increased POS operational efficiency due to the feature that we have implemented. In 2018, this is the first big milestone for this company. They have launched Lawn Hub. Lawn Hub was their subsidiary company that they have launched, and it was a very strategic discussion to use the existing e-commerce which they have. So they were using existing e-commerce, and they decided not to go with Odoo e-commerce for some reason, but then that's also one of the beauty of Odoo, that it can fit into the complex given ecosystem of apps that were in already place. So with bigger enterprises, what we see is usually there are different apps or different components already in the place of that given ecosystem. And Odoo's beauty is in those systems, Odoo can fit in directly without having to do much in terms of the integration, and it's very much scalable as far as this aspect goes. Let's understand that what were the other challenges that they have faced in 2018, and the particular components were inventory and migration. So in 2018, because they were seeing a lot of customer orders and the delivery methods being used were more of a global one, like FedEx and DHL. They wanted to save delivery costs because number of transits were increasing, so they decided and they wanted to have a local delivery courier integrated to their Odoo. Inventory update in bulk is already supported by Odoo, but they wanted to have multiple unit of measure support in 2018 while doing the inventory update. And then it was decided to move on to a newer and better Odoo version in 2018. So the way we have provided solution is we have integrated Australia Post to their website, and then in order to help them with inventory flows, we did some custom flows. And finally, we migrated their Odoo to Odoo 9 to Odoo 12. As we all know that Odoo 12 was significantly faster than its previous version, and it was revolutionary in terms of the e-commerce capabilities which it had at that point of time. The results. Operational efficiency of the warehouse team increased significantly. So essentially what they were doing is they were using local delivery courier now, so obviously that resulted in lower shipping costs and faster deliveries. Now that led to increase in customer satisfaction, and decreased delivery costs increased their profit margin. Then they had a very faster and feature-rich Odoo 12 that helped them scale further. In 2019, again milestone was reached, and that was when they acquired Railways Landscape Supplies. So it was kind of the same, the company which was providing a kind of same supplies, but in a more broader range. So what they pretty much did is, they were specializing in water irrigation as well as landscape supplies, and this acquisition helped them to grow into a $100 million company. So after this was implemented in the single Odoo database using Odoo's default multi-website and multi-company feature, which proves that again, as the default features of Odoo are great enough to accommodate this kind of setup for an organization. Again, in 2019, there were few other challenges which they have encountered. One was related to accounting and few were related to order management. So a batch deposit payment feature was requested in point of sale, which pretty much means that I can, as a customer, add a lot of credit amount to a vendor, and they can keep reconciling it for the orders which I'll be doing from there onwards. Order section management was requested. Now, order section management in 2019 was the existing part of Odoo, but they needed a slight modification in that. And then Odoo's Easy Post Delivery Courier, which they had already implemented, they wanted a very critical fix in that. Let's try to understand what happened at that point of time. So what we have done is we have deployed POS batch feature for them. The second thing is order section feature was enhanced, and then Easy Post Delivery was enhanced. And the change that we did is Easy Post was requesting the dimensions in inches and in a certain format, but all the products which they had were in centimeters. So instead of asking them to change the dimension of each product, we did a bit of customization to help them automate this process. The results: reduced manual efforts for warehouse team with the change that we did, better order management with sections, and enhanced operational efficiency for POS users. Now, everything was going on great, but in 2020s, now business is expanding. What we have seen so far is a company acquiring a different company, having other company launch within their primary company, and now they want to expand the network of customers, and they wanted to go multi-channel, which means they wanted to now sell their products in Amazon and eBay as well. The second thing is, now since from having a global delivery courier like FedEx and DHL to moving to Australia Post integration, which was their local delivery courier, to finally having their own fleet of vehicles is the next biggest milestones that they have achieved. And that was their request, that they wanted to manage their own shipment, and there was a huge, the huge gap was how we can do that, how we can enable it in Odoo that we have a fleet of vehicles that we can track, and we can track the order delivery status in real time. The third was server performance. Obviously, with increase in load of customers, with increase in processes, sales order coming in, a server performance optimizations were required in 2020. Now, that's the same year when COVID arrived, but as you can see, it has not affected the overall efficiency and productivity of the organization because of the efficient management of the resources that they were getting in Odoo out of the box, as well as the assistance that they were getting from Webkul. So what we have done, we have provided them Amazon and eBay integration, which is again a part of default Odoo app. The second thing is Odoo delivery person app was implemented for them. So what this app essentially allows is you can track the different employees who are your delivery partners, and then you can track their location in real time, and there is an app developed for this process that really helped them in managing their own fleet of vehicles. The third one is we did server optimization for them so that to achieve good results when it comes to speed performance and overall usability of the server. Now let's see the results that happened due to this. These are actual images of customers. Now they have their own fleet of vehicles delivering goods in Australia, and the net profits increased by 17% due to that. Increase in revenue due to multi-channel sales. Obviously now they had broader reach to customers because they were also selling products in Amazon and eBay. That resulted in increase in revenue of 36%, and server performance that we enhanced really helped them in managing their overall operations, because that really helped them in making the system overall smooth and bug-free. In year 2021, there were few challenges that we have faced in sales, inventory, and migration. The first one was a requirement of increasing customer loyalty, and they want pretty much earlier people were opting more for cash and delivery services. Now the problem with cash and delivery more or less is if customer cancels it at the last moment, there's a huge chance that you may have already packed your products and it's already sitting in your shipping dock, but prepaid payment pretty much means that customer has kind of confirmed that they really want that order. So in order to have that, they wanted settlement discount feature. Bill of material operations, there were few modifications required, like support of multiple unit of measure in bill of materials. And at last, migration to Odoo 15 was requested so that they could have and benefit all the features that Odoo 15 was providing out of the box. So this is the second migration that we did for them. So settlement discount feature was provided. So with this feature, when end customer goes to the website, and if they pay through a certain payment method like online credit card, they will get a certain discount in comparison to what they will not get when they will pay, they will purchase through a cash on delivery option. The second thing is multiple unit of measure support really helped their BOM or inventory management teams. And at last, they were migrated to Odoo 15 with flying colors. And since we did the migration earlier as well, we were mostly aware of all the things and code base which they had. This time the migration was more smooth in comparison to the previous migration. The results. So with efficient inventory management and increase in customer base, new warehouses were open. You can see these happy faces. This is when they are launching new warehouses for their organizations. The second thing is settlement discount increased prepaid orders by 43%. And the third thing which they got is Odoo 15, which was for better customer experience. And in Odoo 15, discuss model and other internal collaboration models and modules were really enhanced in Odoo 15, which resulted in better coordination among the teams. In year 2022 and 2023, now company is a multi-million-dollar company. They pretty much had what they wanted to have in terms of the business processes and customization. If they wanted to have it, all the processes are now streamlined, but still, like any organization, they wanted consultancy and tech support, which means the project is right now in maintenance mode, and it is a live project which we have made them live by 2 migration, and they've been with us for last 8 years. So what their request was to have business and ERP consultancy. So what The second thing they wanted to have was technical support, of course, to support their current architecture and code base. The third thing which they wanted was, because server optimization is a continuous process, so they want us to work on their server optimization part as well. So what we have done, workflow enhancements. So once any given project is in such a stage that they pretty much have every process sorted and automation is in place, every sync is being done just right. Now there is time when they want workflow enhancement, which means that we get in touch with their actual stakeholders. For example, if there is a warehouse team, we get in a call with few of those guys and try to understand the processes that they are doing in their day-to-day operations. We try to figure out that how we can further enhance it if that's required, or how we can use Odoo's default features and functionalities to deliver it to them. The second thing is comprehensive support. So comprehensive support pretty much means if Odoo, they are in latest Odoo version, if they want to have a feature that Odoo provides now, which were not there before, so we were providing them trainings on that. It also means that if there are critical bugs in their businesses, we are going to fix for them, and any server-related support, if they need in urgency, we are there for them. So yeah, the optimized server pretty much also means that in every phase of the growth, your server needs certain modification and enhancement. The server that is implemented usually in MVP phase definitely needs enhancement in the later phases when the projects will go live or when they will start acquiring more customers. So that's where server optimizations comes into the picture, and we have a dedicated team for that as well. That's what we have done for them. So the overall results of having Odoo for 8 years and how it affected the overall revenue. So there was an increase in 186% in the revenue of Waterpro after implementing Odoo. There was an increase in revenue of 59% in Railways, which is their acquired company, and operational efficiency increased by 53% as a result of implementing Odoo Enterprise with Webkul as their implementation and development partner. So as you have seen that from being starting up the business to having different growth phases, and how with each phase, with each year passing by, there were newer set of challenges that were not there before. So the way we work is, the way Odoo is designed and the way we provide services over Odoo is, every time you may encounter a challenge which is different from the previous challenge which you had, depending on the growth which you are having in Odoo. For example, as you have seen earlier, their problem was having a local delivery courier, but then it changed to having their own fleet of vehicles because they were getting money, their business were going great, so they wanted to have their own fleet of management to save their shipping costs a lot. And then acquisitions and having their super enhanced and efficient inventory management for such organization really helped them in getting 53% operational efficiency. So this is a quick brief of what the story have been for Waterpro with Webkul as their Odoo development and implementation partner, and the benefits which they have received from Odoo Enterprise. Now let's hear it from client himself that what he thinks about Odoo. So these are the review from Jeron Soinian, who's senior manager from Waterpro. So he says that business suite of integrated solutions and streamlined operations, highly scalable and customizable to meet our changing business needs as business grows. So he acknowledges Odoo as a growing powerhouse in terms of overall efficiency and ERP management. The second review was for Webkul as their implementation partner. So he says that Webkul provided complete end-to-end services and collaborated on required solution to meet their continued unique requirements. So thank you for your time, and this is it for this presentation. I'm happy to take questions now.
All right, thank you for your talk. Got a few questions. What are your future goals or the next steps that you're planning on doing together with them?
For Waterpro? So
Yeah,
as you
in
know
general.
that Odoo 17 has just launched, so what we do is usually after the launch of each Odoo, we try to figure out that what's there for that particular business. We do not enforce migration to them, so we'll try to figure out whether or not there are features that's really going to help them. If there are any, we'll help them to migrate to Odoo 17 as well.
Do you have seen something in the last few days that might spark interest for them, or?
Oh no, actually, yes. I mean, there are few components that could be useful, but as far as the percent is not above a desired percent, let's suppose if there are 15% of the changes, and that's not very much impactful for their business, we'll try to avoid the migration, right? But if there's something which is gonna bring something really good for them in terms of the percent, then definitely we'll suggest Odoo 17 migration to them.
Right. Then, from what I understood, is you try to stick to standard as much as possible as well when you integrated with them. Did you still do like a lot of custom developments on your own, or did you use third-party applications?
No, that's a really good question. So if Waterpro has been implemented today, they would not have needed at least 75% of the customizations that we did for them, which means that Odoo is growing yearly and is getting you're getting a lot of new features that are required for businesses like Waterpro to grow and to reach a certain height in terms of their growth. So as far as Odoo is evolving, I think that in near future, in implementing any such projects, a lot of less customization will be required, and that's usually how we work as well. We try to map the requirements with Odoo's default functionalities as much as we can. The second step is to figure out if the requirement can't be met with Odoo default features, then we have like 750 apps that can be used as plug and play to their setup. So that's going to bring down the implementation time and the development cost. At last, if required, we do customization services for them.
And then somebody else got a question, otherwise we have time for the last one. No. I gotta ask that last one.
No problem.
How should I say? When this means that for this company, you're gonna like remove the developments or the customizations that you did for them, right?
Right. So what we do is, we did 2 migrations for them, right? From 9 to 12, then 12 to 15. So they are currently in Odoo 15. The point is, so during the migration phase, there is something we called pre-analysis phase. So what we generally do is we try to figure out the features which new version has and map it with the customization or modules that we did for this particular customer. If there is an overlap, like, okay, so there's a default feature that can be used and now our customization and product can be dropped. So what we do is we do data migration with the current setup anyway to save data. Otherwise, there will be data loss. So whenever you are moving data from one place to another, the code structure should be the same. The fields, the data set, and the tables in the newer version should be able to hold the data which we are migrating. So what we do is we migrate the data to a newer version, and then we deassemble our module and switch it with Odoo's default features. That's our approach in handling these cases.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation. And if there aren't any other questions, we have to go to the next presentation.
All right.
So thank